What is up, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice. It's been a little while since I made a video, but that's because I wanted to, I don't know, go over some things. So,
Are you having trouble?
I know a lot of people like to say weather manipulation or laser beams. And I've been saying it's none of that. And, well, Hurricane Lee. So, it seems that I was wrong about the path it was going to take, and in a way, I almost feel like they still don't really know. I think we have a good idea because its trajectory is starting to head in certain directions, and I already knew after the Maui fires and people claiming lasers and all that, that soon as these hurricanes started hitting, people were going to go right back to weather manipulation until a train derailed or a warehouse caught on fire, and then they would be also distracted. They'd move on from the hurricane and the fires back to derailments and warehouse fires. And that it's the government controlling the weather, burning down the buildings, causing eclipses, making earthquakes, making all the animals angry because of their loud music. I don't know, what else are people blaming the government for? The flu going away and coming back, right? Like they're like, that's the government. So here's the trajectory of Lee. Whoop! It did a complete right turn. So if Lee was driving down the street in his huge 4x4 truck, right, and he was following his GPS, right, and then you got the government using their weather manipulation zappers, right? They're trying to make it as strong and as deadly as possible, and they're steering it right towards the East Coast, right? So I don't know where they went wrong, because I think it was the North Pole. Yeah, the North Pole had to say something about that. So, like, I don't think they could control the North Pole for some reason, but for some reason they can make all these clouds, and then they can make hurricanes, and then they could, like, steer them like there's a steering wheel or something. How they do that, I have no idea. Because, people are like, you should, like, educate yourself on weather manipulation. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, they're like showing all these people, and they're like, this is a cloud factory. We are based out of Chicago, and we control the weather. And I'm like, whoa, bro. He's like, we're the ones that make it rain. We're the ones that say so when it can rain and when it doesn't. And I'm just like, whoa, right? Like, dude, are you telling me that Earth never had a choice? And that, like, when I was a young kid and it would like rain, and I was like thinking, like, in my head, like, there's some guy pulling levers, turning gears, pushing buttons, and he's behind a curtain, and he's like, I am the Almighty Oz, right? And I'm over there shaking in my lion's fur, right? Courage, right? So, like, it turns out that apparently they can put a steering wheel on this storm, and, like, from there, like, I guess they just hire a dude, like a trucker, and he just, like, finishes the route, right? And he's like, we want you to head right into the East Coast, and he's like, sounds fine and mighty to me. How much you paying? Right? And he's like, sign me up. So, like, he's got the truckload of hurricane energy in this hurricane, right? And he's just like, right? And then the North Pole had to say something about this, and it started sending cold fronts. I know! So it made the hurricane stall, and now it's taking a right turn. So if they are using weather manipulation, it appears to not be working for them, because apparently they can't control what, I guess, God does as well, right? Because God was, like, controlling the North Pole, right? And I keep telling people about, like, this guy named God, and that he's in the clouds and he's watching all of us, and, like, you should be a good person because there's a real place called hell. And people are just like, what are you talking about? They, like, say I'm crazy or something, and I'm like, yeah, that guy God, right? The one that the one that controlled the weather before man came. When, like, Earth did its natural things, right? Like You know, because I'm only assuming the dinosaurs weren't using geoengineering weapons or lasers. You know, because now they're finding their dinosaur prints at the bottom of rivers and lakes here in Texas because of how dry it's been. And I'm like, whoa, they used to walk here? It's like, holy crap. It's like, yeah, dude. They used to drive cars and they were like zapping each other with weather manipulation. Oh, wait. No, actually, that didn't exist. It was God who used to control this place. But now that we have all these weapons and technology, it's man that controls everything now. So, with that being said, enough about that. What else was I wanted to talk about? Oh, and this fugitive guy. Yeah, I'm like, whoa. This dude eluded and evaded drones, thermal imaging, sun simulators, laser beams. The guy kind of reminded me of Bin Laden. Yeah, they didn't know where the hell he was. They went into a cave and they found some guy and they're like, "Are you Bin Laden?" And he was like, "No, I've been hiding." So apparently they finally found this guy. I mean, they locked down the whole town. I mean, look at all these police. Like, dude, you guys couldn't find this one guy with all your technologies and all your weapons and all your government programs and all your, right? Like, nobody could find this guy. Like, how hard can it be? You know, but then again, yeah, I'm just going to repeat it again. I did some hard time here in the state of Texas, and the generic uniform they give you is a white uniform. So you got white pants, white shirt, right? Everything is white. You know how many prisoners escaped from like Texas prisons and like they just like fake out people, right? They're like, "Hey, aren't you a prisoner from like one of those Texas prisons?" And he's like, "No, I'm a painter." Right? They're like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, that's why I'm wearing all white." He's like, "Now give me your car." And then where was I at? What about these aliens that where's it at? Hold on. Did y'all see those aliens in Mexico or something like that? Aliens, right? They like brought out the cookie jar. Aliens, Mexico. I just put Mexican aliens. There we go. Now, these guys are actually famous. They're not really 1,000 years old. They're more like, I don't know, when did that movie Men in Black come out? Like 1998. So, give or take, maybe about 25 years old. So, man, these guys ain't even that old. Like, we just saw these dudes. Now they're mummified. How they did that, I have no idea. Why they did that, I have no idea. Maybe they wanted to preserve these little people for when, so they brought these little, like, dudes out of, like, some cookie jars, right? So there he is right there. And believe it or not, these guys are actually famous. You know, they were featured in the movie Men in Black, which was one of the only roles. Oh, 97. There he is right there. So maybe he really was in the process of dying in this movie. And it was like the perfect time. And he's like, Orion's, he's like, belt? Right? He's like, yes, that's it. I mean, quite the resemblance, don't you think? I mean, look at his face, look at his head, right? Belt, right? Orion's belt. Okay, so here we go. I mean, can't you see the resemblance? Like these dudes are related. I mean, look at them. Belt. There you have it.